Hey, what's up everybody? David Wood here for DavidWoodFX to bring you the first in a short series of tutorials on special effects that can be seen in Teen Titans the Animated Series. This first series will involve Gimp, and then the second series will do Photoshop, and possibly a third series will be After Effects. So let's go ahead and get started. The first effect is Raven. She's got this cool power that allows her to control objects and lift them and stuff, sort of like telekinesis. And we are going to be copying this effect. Here is what the effect will look like when it's completed. And yes, that is Tiger Woods. I just Googled for fist, and this was one of the first images that came up. So I thought it fit pretty well with the effect. But you can see it's going on there, and it's pretty similar to Raven's. You have to take some liberties with it because one is a cartoon and then this is real life. But let's go ahead and get started. First thing to do is to open up the image of Tiger Woods or whatever you happen to pick. And I'm going to be using this image. And the first thing to do is duplicate this layer. Go to Colors, Desaturate, set it on Luminosity, hit OK. And the first thing that we're going to do after desaturating the image is go to Filters, Edge Detect, Edge. And in here, basically any place where there's a change in pixels, it will draw a line around that area. So we are going to take the amount and set that down to 1. And then the algorithm, we can play around with the different ones. I think that Sobel and Differential and Roberts are usually the best ones. Differential results in like the least amount of goofy noise effects. So I'm going to go with differential and hit OK. As you can see, there's some background noise in here if you can't see it. Because the background, there's some anti-aliasing going on in the background because it's just a JPEG photo. So we need to get rid of that. So we can go to Filters, Blur, Gaussian Blur, and give it a blur of 1. Then we can go to Colors, Levels, and drag the black slider down, and drag the white slider up, and just adjust these to your liking. You can go to Filters, Enhance, Sharpen, and just sharpen that by like 20 or 30, just like that. And there is the basic effect. Now what you need to do is take the ellipse tool and come in here and select an area of the image like so. Hold down Shift and it will make it a perfect circle. I don't remember what key it is on the Mac. And you want to make it something like this where it's just slightly bigger than the fist. Go over to the layer, right click on it and choose Add Alpha Channel. Right click again, choose Add Layer Mask and choose black for full transparency. And then we want to go to Edit, Fill with Background Color, and make sure that the mask is selected, not the photo. And now we have the effect there, and we can select None. And the cool thing with a mask, black makes everything completely transparent, while white makes it opaque. And then various shades of gray will change the opacity of that. So like drawing like this, and you can see it just makes effects like that. Duplicate this layer. Choose the bottom one, make sure you select the image, go to Edit, Fill with Foreground Color and fill that with white. Then go to the Layer Mask and choose Filters, Blur, Gaussian Blur. And set this around 30 should work for this size image. You may have to play around with this depending on what size your image is. It's best to have a really high quality image. Also we can take this layer and go to Colors, Levels, and we can grab the white slider and push that up. And there's the basic effect. Or what you can do is make a new black layer, set the blend mode on screen, and you can come in here with an actual brush, something really small, and you could actually go through and trace where his hand is if you want to make it have more of a cartoon look. You can see there's a basic outline there, and there you can see the effect that it has. This is a really poor quality example, but you get the basic idea of the effect, and you can make that as detailed as you want. Now, a second part of it is the fact that her eyes glow white, and so now we will begin with that step. What I'm going to do is create a new blank layer on top of everything and zoom in to where I can see his eyes. And I'm just going to take the lasso tool and draw a rough shape of what this should look like so. And you can make this as detailed as you want. I'm not going to. And just fill that with white. Second thing is you need to find like the center of his head, because these light beams are supposed to shoot out of his eyes outward. So we need to adjust it. We're going to use a motion blur to set up that point. So we'll bring in some guides, which you can just click on the side of the image here and drag out guides, and the same with the top, and set it up roughly right about here. We want that to meet in the middle. And so this one is on 127. This is 230. So 127 and 230. Actually, we'll just bring this one down to 130 just to make that easier to remember. Then we can go to Filters, Blur, Motion Blur. Set that to Zoom, and then adjust these accordingly. And then you can increase the length like that, and you can see it start to blur out like so. And you can adjust how much you want that blurred. Probably not too much. Something around 60 should work for the initial image. So now we can take this layer and move it back over his eye like that. We'll take a large fuzzy brush. And I've had people tell me that they think it's funny the way I say fuzzy brush. But we'll go over his eye, which is right about here. And just a single click, maybe a double click will work fine. Basically anything that'll just make that part glow more than the outer edge here. And just like that, it's a pretty neat effect. We'll just create a black background layer, merge these together, and then just add a little more blur to it, just to remove some of the sharp lines that it ends up having. Just like so, and set this on screen, or you can get creative and set it on add, which makes it really, really bright. Sometimes in the scene that works better, but for mine I'm just going to use screen. And then just boost up the levels a little bit, just to make that brighter. And there you have it. A simple but effective effect based off of the Teen Titans character Raven. And I think it's a pretty close comparison. Like I said, you can go in and trace the hand using the pen tool, or just freehand if you have a tablet, or if you're really good with the mouse. Obviously with a cartoon it's a lot easier because the edges are so fine that it comes out very smooth instead of all pixeled up and choppy. You can continue playing with the effects. You can try to remove like some of these inner lines here and just have the main outline of the hand as in the example here. And that is all there is to it. So I hope you found this tutorial useful. This is only the first one. The next one I plan on doing one on Starfire, another on Cyborg's blast effect when he uses his sonic cannon arm, and possibly a fourth one on a photo manipulation turning somebody into Beast Boy. That one I'm not sure yet. Or you could just go watch an Avatar one, only make the character green instead of blue. So that's it for this tutorial. I'm David Wood, DavidWoodFX, and I will talk to you guys later.